myth that we've heard about black fathers,
Yeah.
and it's just not fair. And it seems like we always get the short end of the stick.
Yeah.
African Americans, whether it's a father, a mother,
Right.
you know, the teenagers or
And
whatever.
angry black
That is
woman.
because
The angry
exactly,
black woman,
and that's how they
absent
portray.
father.
Exactly.
That's
And
how they
these
portray.
men
With
portray
child.
us.
That's how they portray
Right.
everything, even when it's in like certain cartoons. They
Right.
always
Exactly.
They
We're
always
angry.
portray that, and the mom is always angry, and she doesn't have the a male support
Right.
from the kid's father. But according to the CDC, there's a study
Absolutely.
from between 2006 through 2010. 3,900 fathers were studied, and they found that black fathers are more likely to bathe, dress, play, and eat dinner with their
Wow.
kids
Yes.
in comparison to the white and Hispanic fathers who
And
were
I wasn't
surveyed.
shocked by that at all. That wasn't
interesting.
bewildering to me.
Yeah.
When I listened to it, I was glad to know that at least they did a study so that the world can see. Because to my perspective, I know what the Caucasian father is doing.
Right.
He's at his business meeting with his mistress.
Oh shit, Ma. Jackie.
So, but they're not going to tell you. But they're not going to
Gonna
tell
talk
you
about
that.
that. Yeah, no.
They're going to tell you that the black father is out in the street doing drugs
Right,
somewhere,
right.
not caring about his children, and that is
And
incorrect.
you know what's funny? Where I work, the guy who owns this place, he's, you know him. He's something else. So there's a little black kid who came in, and he was selling chocolate bars. And the owner, he gave the little kid like $30, and he says to me, he's like, because I was like, that was so nice of you, and he's like, he probably doesn't have a father, and I just was like,
Oh my god.
I didn't get mad because I know the type of guy he is. He doesn't realize that's you don't say that. He kind of he just
Right.
doesn't know.
Do you think he was saying it sarcastically?
No, I don't think he was saying
No,
it
he probably
sarcastically.
just
That I really
really
think that's what he.
meant-
You
I
guys
really
thought that
I
he-
really think that's
Think
what he thought.
about it. Like you said.
So he's ignorant?
No, but
Honestly,
think about
no.
it. The majority of
Yeah,
society
he
is
is.
ignorant. If we're already painted, so think about a
Exactly.
Caucasian
Oh, yeah.
family that doesn't have any African American friends or anything, and only know what the
Exactly.
media tells
Exactly.
them.
Yes.
So
They have nothing
ignorant.
to-
Yeah.
When he
I
said
believe
that,
that's ignorant.
it definitely is, and that's why I didn't really trip off of it because
Yeah.
I know he's a little ignorant. He's a sweetheart, the guy, and he doesn't know that that's ignorant.
And ignorant doesn't mean, let me just clarify that. Ignorant doesn't mean that you're stupid in any kind
He's
of way.
just
You're
uneducated.
ignorant and you're uneducated about the
subject.
topic
About things, yeah.
or the situation
And
that
I was just like, why did you just automatically think that kid doesn't have a father? I mean, he may not, but you don't know that.
Right.
He always thinks anybody who's in a bad solution, the majority of the time it's black.
because it's
Right.
so
Younger black
good.
kids, he always think they don't have a father.
Because
Right.
it's so
That's
good for
his
the
first-
little white boy to be sent to Italy to study without his parents and let a nanny raise him.
Yeah.
And he grows up, shooting up the whole family if they don't leave him in
Yeah.
his heritage.
I'm glad they did that study because I think black men are slept on in so many
Definitely.
different levels.
Oh, they
and they
are.
represent such a different, beautiful strength about them and a different kind of
I am
love. that
so
I'm
glad that you
so-
said that.
man.
Because there's nothing like our brothers.
And
They're
like I always
not.
say, the black man is the most mimicked man. I always say
They
that.
are the most mimic men, and there's nothing like the brothers.
It's
And I
not.
think
It's like
we
And
need
I
to-
want to give a
Right.
shout out to all the black men out
Me
there
too. I
because you
second
know
that.
what they have a lot to deal with.
Yeah,
Right.
they do.
They have a lot on their shoulders.
from birth.
And I
From
appreciate
birth,
all
from
the
birth,
men
from
who
birth.
all the black men, all the black
Yes.
fathers out there been taking care of their kids. It's funny because growing up, I remember with all my friends, I think it was maybe me and two other black girls. We were the only three who had their dad in the same household as
Wow.
them. And I do consider myself blessed to have grown up with my father, and he was there. He taught me how to ride bikes and do all that stuff. Taught me
All
how to
that
tie my
stuff.
shoes. Yeah, so it's like you said, they are slept on, and I think we don't realize the importance of the black father plays, especially in little girls' lives.
Right,
It's-
absolutely.
obviously, it's very, very important in the little boy's life, but
Yeah.
and the little girls need their daddies just as much as they need their mom.
I just want to interject for a second because statistics shows that the parent who
Of the opposite sex.
of the opposite sex weighs the most on that child. And I do agree with that,
Right.
which means if it's just my daughter and I'm going to have a greater impact.
Yeah.
And if it's the son and his father, he's going to have a greater impact, the father for that child. So I
The parent
do
with the same
understand
sex.
that. Yeah, the parent with the same sex has a greater impact on the child. So I do agree with that. But in the same breath, I do want to just, give a shout out to all the black brothers out there. And I am so proud of them because they are coming. They are really stepping up. And, they... Just our race alone, we have issues.
Yeah.
I'm an African American woman, and it's hard for me to progress in this world. So, can you imagine the African American man?
Right.
You being a teacher, I know majority of your kids are not. They're Hispanic. Do you feel like the way your students are? Because I know a lot of the parents, a lot of their background information. A lot of do a lot of your students have their father in their life?
It actually is funny because a lot of my students do have their fathers, and I was actually
what about your
shocked
students in the past?
Yes, most of my kids do have their fathers in the household.
Okay, what about the ones who don't?
You see
What's
a
your
difference
question?
in their behavior?
How are they? Yeah, exactly. Do you see any difference in how are they? The ones who don't have a father? Because I know you've told me stories. There's been students,
I don't
fathers
see a lot of
passed away, and
I don't see a lot of kids who don't have the father in their household, and I don't see the great impact on it. I really don't.
They don't act out more.
They don't
anything
act out more or anything.
Interesting.
However, I am a product of a child.
I was going to ask you that. I was going to get to that.
Who did not have a father, and not because he was on drugs or he did this, or
because there's fathers who want to be there, and they a result of that. Your father,
exactly.
Was
my father
to.
was killed, and I was in the car when my father was killed, and I was 4 years old.
He was shot, right?
He was shot, and so that had a great impact on me in the way as for me. I can't speak for all women. I'm just saying for me. And I do think that it's important, regardless of what race you are, that your father does have an impact in your life.
But you being black and your brothers being black and you guys grew up without your father, how do you think that affected your brothers? I mean, obviously it affected all three of you guys, but better question, how did it affect you as being the little girl growing up without her dad, and how do you think it affected your brothers being two young black men growing up in Georgia at that, in the South, and during the times you guys grew up?
I think it had a very, very negative impact on my brothers. And like I said, that goes to show you that the mother, because the opposite sex,
right?
Has
really
a greater
relate.
impact.
Yeah.
Excuse me. So I saw my mother being strong in the most weakest moments. I saw her being there. And so I had to take
Shout
that
out to black moms for
exactly.
that.
Exactly.
So
Let's
much.
give the black moms props because, but for me, speaking spiritually, I must say that for me, I am a believer. I love Jesus. And the enemy automatically attacks our men. Doesn't matter what race you are. That is his goal. Because if he can get the man,
that's
he'll
true.
get the
head
woman.
of the household, right?
Because the Bible says that the man is the head of the household. And if he can get the man, if he can break the man is the head. And then it trickles down into the woman, to the mother, and then the mother, and then it goes to the children.
Right.
So the devil already has a plan for that.
Yeah.
Right.
And people don't want to hear that, and that's cool, but everybody has their own. But for me personally, it affected me in a way because I don't think I made good choices and selected man. And I think had I had my father that I really believed, and you can elaborate on that as well.
Oh yeah, I just feel like as a woman, as a mother, you are the first example to your child as to what to allow and what not to allow. And it goes the same thing for your father. If your father is treating women any kind of way, that shows you what's right. That's what you grow up thinking. So I definitely also can relate to not making the best choices with men. And
because of the father,
and you think that's because of the absence of your father?
I do, because if you think about it, if you have your father and he's telling you, you are so special,
right,
no man has no business because I'm your father and I love you this much.
Right.
If he dare touch you in this way, if he dare makes you feel this way, you've gotten that from your father. So if a man even tries to hit you,
right, and I
you already know. My daddy already told me
that don't fly.
I'd be afraid for any guy to put their hands on me.
Right.
I really think my dad might go to jail for murder. Like,
right.
no jokes aside.
And your mother.
And your mother.
But let me ask you guys something. So, even though, like we said, the CDC with their study, they did find that black fathers they were the majority in taking help being more interactive with their kids. But why do you guys think, especially in the black community, especially with our lower socioeconomic, there is a lot of absent fathers.
Yeah,
and they just who kind of choose to be absent, who are just they know they have a kid and they're just not getting their.
I think it all stems. Like,
well,
who's their father to them?
And I was going to ask, why do you think that is?
That goes back to what we were just saying about fathers being.
Yeah. And I feel like the black community, but especially the black man, and we were talking about purposes a little bit ago on break. That's also part of my purpose. Black men don't know how to express themselves. Mm-hmm. There's not even a conversation there. The mental health.
Oh my gosh! Yes.
Yes.
We talked about this last time too. That they don't express it. That they don't know how to deal with mental health.
Right. So how do we get through this if it's not even being acknowledged? You know what I'm saying?
They don't know how to cry. That's
all
a sign of weakness
are
to them.
Silence is a sign of strength.
Exactly.
To them. Mm-hmm. So that's
and it's a cycle, and it kind of breaks down the man, the black man. It makes them,
Bishop T.D. Jakes has a series called He Motion.
Ooh.
And it's about the emotion of men. And I recommend every woman listen to it because it shows you, it tells you to what, he almost gives you the day-to-day life of a man.
Right.
And what they think. And we can't imagine what they're going through. We have no idea what those men are going through. And being a black man, and I'm, it's just the way it is. They go through a lot.
Can I be honest with you? I so hurt and feel for the black man, but I also feel so frustrated as a woman. Damn, like we all have our own baggage. I'm learning how to deal with my stuff, and now I gotta help you too.
Is that what you're frustrated about? Because you have to help the man?
I don't want to have. I feel like if you're already working on yourself, I want to be your biggest cheerleader. But I feel like so many men are so reluctant to even start with a conversation, admit certain feelings. It's frustrating to try and pull that out of someone.
Well, what I've noticed for black men in my age group is that they're emotionally detached.
Yes, that's how I feel.
Even in our age, they are.
Okay, yeah. And I guess because I was married at such a young age, so I never dated in my 30s or 20s because I was married so young.
Yeah,
and so now I'm at this age where it's almost like I feel like something is wrong because there's so many black men. And because I say black men because that's who I've I've dated.
Yeah.
They're so emotionally detached.
That's what I feel too.
And it saddens me because what I've learned out of being married is that I can communicate with you.
Right.
If it's not working, it's not working, brother. Right. Yeah. I'm not stringing you along. We're not doing anything. If it's not working, it's not working.
Right.
Yeah. And I think and it's so sad that our black men are like that, and I don't know what we need to do to help them.
I that's the thing. Like, first they have to want it first. I don't want to have to pull. Like, if I'm trying to communicate with you, if I'm trying to build something with you, I don't want to have to drag it out of you.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
But when you think about it in big picture, I personally, when I was younger, after you get beat down so much, you know what I'm saying?
You're just
emotionally,
tired.
you're tired.
You're just tired.
You disconnect, so you don't have to feel anymore.
You become
know
so jaded that you're just like, whatever.
So I don't know. I feel like men are missing out on a lot of love.
They are.
I feel like a woman's touch.
They
like
are missing
women are healers. You know what I'm saying?
Naturally, we are healers.
Yeah, but you like by men breaking down women, like you're killing off your healers. You know what I mean? We're here to help you, support you as you are for us. But like,
it's amazing that I'm sitting here. You're 28.
Yeah.
And I'm 49.
49. Oh,
I'm
okay.
I'm 50. I'm 51, and
just doesn't look a day over 22.
And I'm proud to say that. But I'm saying in comparison that you're 28, and you are saying the same things that I'm saying about men who are 51.
Because it doesn't change.
So
no matter how.
hasn't-
And it doesn't.